Hey, True Believers, Englentine here. And now we already counted down the worst films of 2018 on the Extreme Movie Show. This was going to come out beforehand. These are the most disappointed films. Now, we all have expectations when we hear a title. Even if we say we want to go in clear-minded, sometimes it doesn't work out. These movies are the ones that I had such great expectations for, but the movie just fell flat for me, or it didn't live up to those expectations. There's actually only one movie on this list I actively disliked, and it did end up making the worst list last night, so check out both of them. This is ranked basically based on that gap, the most anticipated versus what we actually got. So, without further ado, let's get this party started. Starting off the countdown at number 10. Early Man. Yeah, I know, you probably haven't heard of this one. It came out at the beginning of the year, but let me tell you, if you say to me that the creators of the Chicken Run have a new movie coming out, I'm there. I'm sold already. The ticket is already bought. Unfortunately, though, it just didn't live up, and I understand. The Chicken Run's been around forever. It was something I watched with my daughters. They loved it, so it's very personal. You know, we enjoy it so much. And it was clever, and I liked it. It was a bit of a riff on The Great Escape. This one, however, is a bit of a riff on The Big Green from the 1990s. It's a soccer movie that, you know, the losers win the big game. We've seen it before, and this does nothing new with it. There are some decent jokes, but mostly it falls flat, and to me, that just broke my heart on this one. I didn't dislike it, mind you. Like I said, a lot of these movies I still like. I thought were clever, I thought were fun, I thought were entertaining. This one's entertaining enough, but it's also ultimately forgettable. Number 9. Strangers Pray at Night. Remember how I said there was one movie I actively didn't like? This ended up on our worst list when me and Robzilla were talking about the worst films of 2018. I loved the original. I was legitimately scared by that one. I thought it was creepy as hell, and man, I was riveted. So when this was announced, I was all for it. Unfortunately, this is more slashery than the other one was, and instead of having one intimate setting, it's spread out across, for some reason, an empty mobile home park. It just didn't make sense. The best scare, this one, was revealed in the trailer. It's a fail on all counts. Way disappointed in this one. Number 8. Christopher Robin. To tell you the truth, I'm not exactly sure what I was expecting from Christopher Robin. I was expecting a sense of wonder, you know, a kind of return to your childhood kind of thing. And what we got was basically Hook. This is the same story as Hook, Robin Williams being Peter Pan. Here we have Ewan McGregor learning how to be a kid again as he's reunited with his old toys. Unfortunately, Ewan McGregor is not able to tap into that sense of childlike wonder the way that Robin Williams was, and I think that's what's really missing here. Now, there is one more huge crime that this movie did, is I think it's going to overshadow another film that came out last year about Christopher Robin, and that was called Goodbye, Christopher Robin, and that was basically the relationship between A.A. Milne and his son and Winnie the Pooh. And this one, Christopher Robin, while it didn't exactly hit the mark it was aiming for, at least it was on the board somewhere. It's watchable, but once again, ultimately, forgettable. Number 7. First Man. Okay, so we were told we were going to get a thriller about the moon landing. That's in the previews. By the time I got to it, I understood that we were going to watch, or I was going to watch, a character study about Neil Armstrong, and that's awesome. I'm okay with that. And I heard it was a slow burn. I'm fine with that. What I didn't know was that Ryan Gosling was going to walk through this like he was bored out of his brains, and by that end, we're going to be bored as well. He says everything to everybody in the same monotone inflection. There's just nothing to be excited about here, and I think that's mainly because the main actor just doesn't seem to be excited to even be in the film, and ultimately, I think that hurt it. Number 6. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. The funny thing about this entry was that I already had my expectations lowered by the first movie, by the Jurassic World. I understood what I was in for. A lot of people running away from a lot of animals growling at them. That is all I wanted. That's what I came in for. I wanted to see dinosaurs chasing people. Actually, what I want to see is the awe and wonder of dinosaurs again, and then, of course, being reminded that they are animals, you know, kind of like the first film. But I understood what we were going to get, and still it managed to fall below expectations. It just seemed like everybody involved in this film, every character, lost intelligence. They just made really, really stupid decisions. Number 5, Predator. It's Predator, and it's written by Shane Black. Shane Black's given us quite a few good movies over the years. Nice Guys, come on, he was in the original Predator. You would think that this would be more than what it was. For some reason, I expected a deeper character dive than what we got. And like I said, I enjoyed what we got. It's just, we've seen it before. There's really nothing different. They introduce a whole interesting cast of characters and then waste them one by one rather than use them. And that's my biggest disappointment. I really did think this one was going to step outside the box. They decided to introduce the Hulk Predator, but ultimately that led nowhere as well. It's just another Predator. Number 4, Ralph Breaks the Internet. I like this film. It was pretty good. That being said, the first one was great, and I think part of the problem with the second one is that the people writing the script said, hey, you know what everybody liked? Those scenes where they could point out and go, hey, look, that's Sonic over there, and there's Mario, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. And they could point out all the references. And then somebody said, hey, you know what? A lot of people play video games, but everybody's on the internet, and they'll love the references there. So let's do that. And voila, this is what we get for it. And that's ultimately my biggest problem. It seems to be more interested in showing us, hey, look, remember this, remember that, look, you know this, than telling a story. And ultimately, while Wreck-It Ralph was great, this one is all right. Number 3, Bohemian Rhapsody. This is an example of what I was talking about. I enjoyed this movie. I liked it. And I've got to say the hype really worked on me to the point where I don't know what transcendental experience I was expecting. I just didn't get it. What I got was a decent biopic. You know, I'll watch it one more time, I think, you know, when it comes on DVD and such. But this isn't the, you know, biopic to end all biopics, which, in all honesty, if I'm being honest, I was kind of expecting based on the hype surrounding the trailers and such. And finally, they're doing a band that I truly cared about and loved. I have all of Queen's albums. I know all of their songs backwards and forwards. So I was truly looking forward to this film. I enjoyed it, but like I said, for some reason, I bought into the hype. It's on me. This one's on me. And once again, that transcendental experience just did not come. Number 2, The Meg. We spent a lot of time on this movie in our worst of the year list because Robzilla hates this film. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was fun. However, I read the book. This should have been balls out crazy. This should have been one of those movies where you went, what the hell did I just watch? Instead, they played it safe. And my expectations, because I read the book versus what I got, was a bit disappointing. I was still, after a while, I was still able to put it aside, realize I wasn't going to get the book, so let's enjoy the movie based on what it was. But ultimately, man, I want that book. I want him to go inside of the shark and kill it by stabbing its heart, you know, that kind of thing. Overall, entertaining, but just if you read the book, you're going to be disappointed. And the number 1 most disappointing movie of 2018. Now, this is something you know, you want to talk about believing the hype. From the first moment I saw the trailer, I was on board for this. I never say this movie's going to be good. I always say, well, we'll see. We'll see. This is one of those I said, oh, this is going to be great. This looks wondrous. This looks magical. This looks like everything I've come to expect from the very first movie, which is in my top 10 of all time, and that disappointing film is Mary Poppins Returns. I don't know what they did wrong, because there's those elements to... Actually, I do. Here's exactly what went wrong with Mary Poppins. In the original, there were problems with the adults. Therefore, she took care of them through the children. And because of that, we have wondrous eyes. But it was all done with the illusion that she was helping the children, not the adults. In this one, the adults have a problem. She came to help the adults, and it's all grown-up problems with magic thrown in. And instead of being wondrous, it seems like they're checking off boxes. Did this in the original, we'll do this here. Click, check, or check. I don't know why I said click. Point being is, it just feels like they're going through the motions. Now, I will say this. When Dick Van Dyke shows up, it's a lot of fun. When Angela Lansbury shows up, it was a lot of fun. And I do have to admit, I was hoping, because I'm going to spoil a little bit, Angela Lansbury does something magical. I was truly hoping that Mary Poppins would turn to her and say, well, thank you, Eglantine. Or Eglantine in that one. Oglantine is her name, not Eglantine. That's me. But I was really hoping that would be where we would get a Bed Knobs and Broomsticks reference, which really wouldn't make sense because Oglantine was in World War II. But I would have loved something like that, just a little Bed Knobs and Broomsticks nudge. Unfortunately, what we got is a play-by-numbers Mary Poppins copycat rather than any kind of sequel. Entertaining, sure. Fun to look at, okay, but ultimately a disappointment. So those were my 10 most disappointing films of 2018. Not the worst. That's in the worst list. Check that out. It's a lot of fun. It's a great live stream we did. What do you think? What are the most disappointing films? Not the ones you hate, but the ones you were expecting to like and just didn't like it as much. Or maybe you did hate it. Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, click like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon. Drop $1 in the till. Help us keep making videos for you. Help us keep the lights on, actually. We're trying to make a living at it. Thank everybody who's already done that. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.